Hey guys, that goodbye was not forever. This is Kirk.
And this just in, you're just in time for another Elden Ring build video.
And hey there, I'm Benz. I'll be chiming in here and there when they forget stuff.
Alright, today we are going to show you the intelligence build. This build is going to be spellcasting and whatnot, so let's get to it.
If you haven't watched our starter kit video, pause this one and go into the description. The link is in there. Watch that first, that'll get you to the point we're at now.
So, today we are doing the intelligence build. And right here is the stats that you want to have. And you want to have at least
12 strength, 18 dexterity, and 23 intelligence.
And the more intelligence you have, the better it is for this build. So that's why our intelligence is higher than a 23. And then faith and arcane
are useless. If I so much as feel in the universe you putting one level into faith or arcane, I'm gonna jump through your screen and smack you with your own controller.
So with that being said, we are going to now get through where we stopped in the last video. We are currently sitting here right next to Greyall, the big mean mistress dragon. Yes, it is actually female. I learned that a bit ago. We are going to continue heading down this way.
From here, we are going to continue heading northwest.
Just ignore everything and then come up here and grab this map. Makes life real simple.
We are currently at the Dragonbarrow west side of Grace. The next spot we're going to travel to is down here.
So the best way to get through there is just jump in this little crevice.
Not crevice. The best way to get...
What is that called? Crevice.
It's not crevice.
Crevice is something... Yes, it is a crevice.
Okay. I can't think of another word, so we're calling it crevice.
And then just keep following this little road here. Once you get to it, and just keep going down. There's a side of Grace here. Go ahead and pick that up. Keep walking. We're going to stick over to the left just because it's going to be around where you're going to enter. Come down this hill. You'll see another side of Grace. Go ahead and pick it up just in case you do die, because this is very close to the area that we're going to need to pick up two of the most important items for your early game.
When you get to these ruins, run up the stairs, jump off the torrent, and run inside. Don't worry about these guys. They're not going to hurt you that bad at all. Grab the item here and leave.
Once you're there, head east, and then find this little hole in the ground, jump in, open up the door, and get rock sling.
That was blessed. And once you've grabbed both rock sling and the meteorite staff, travel to the round table hold. Once you get to the round table hold, go into your equipment and equip the meteorite staff. Go to the table of lost grace and memorize the rock sling.
Once you're done with that, go ahead and buy yourself a memory stone from the same lady that we bought the rapier from,
otherwise known as the Twin Maiden Husk. Next, you are going to go to the Aguil Lake north side of Grace. You are then going to travel south until you get the Aguil Lake south side of Grace.
Alrighty, once you grab the Aguil Lake south side of Grace, go ahead and keep heading south. You'll see this little spouty thing here. Just keep going across. And then there's a big bridge. Watch out, they do have a ballista, so you do want to kind of come in at an angle or move around a little bit, just so they don't insta-kill you while you're on your horse. Like that. Grab the items up here and just keep heading down this. Off to the right's another side of Grace. I definitely suggest picking it up. Once you grab the side of Grace, do whatever you want to do there. Just keep following the path. All this is a build video, so everything that you do here is going to be up to your discretion and your own fun. Don't limit yourself. I always suggest pretty much trying to 100% the game as much as possible, or at least as much as you want. Grab this side of Grace here. Do whatever you want to do, need to do with it, and then head over to this spouty thing and jump up it. Whee! Go ahead and head a little northeast here, and then you'll see a gargoyle thing with a glowing book. Read the book or examine it. This book will tell you to seek 3 wise beasts, and it will be these 3 ghostly doggos.
The first one's really easy. He's right behind you. Go back up the hill a little bit here, but to the left, and there'll be another one hiding in the bush.
This last one is a little more difficult. It's Invisibra. Now watch for a little dot right there. See, it's right in front of us. And then just attack. And what that does is it opens up this doorway so you can walk through it.
Climb up the ladder, and at the top will be a memory stone. Memory stones are items that increase your spell slots.
Spell what?
Slots. Kirkland. We're professionals.
Once you're done with that, let's go back down to the Castlemore Rampart side of Grace, which is just below you. We want to grab the map real quick, and then we're going to take you on a little run that'll make sure that you can heal as much as you need to. Oh yeah, and dodge the nighttime boss.
Or simulate to daytime. He won't be there.
So go ahead and pick up the map and then flip a 180 and head back the way you came.
So keep following this little path off to the left, and then you'll see a side of Grace to your left on top of this little hill. Go ahead and jump up it, or just continue walking around. There's a small little path there. Grab the side of Grace, and then jump off the hill. Keep following this a little off to the left-hand side. You want to stick somewhat near that little cliff face, and then open area here, and there's going to be a little spout to your left. You want to take that, aiming to your left side, like so. Go ahead and head up this hill here. Don't worry about Torrent, he's a good boy. Dodge around, and then you're going to see a little village here with people with glowing yellow eyes. Be careful not to get hit by the rats in here. They are kind of mean, and we don't have a ton of health. And then just exit back out and follow this little area here to this outcropping, which will have, you guessed it, another side of Grace. Sit down at this side of Grace. Do whatever you need to do here, whether it's equipping flasks or increasing the amount. And then you're going to want to go back to the south of the Lookout Tower side of Grace.
Once you're done at the site of Grace, head northwest.
This time you're going to want to follow a little more to the right side, and then just keep going straight. Once you get to this area, you can obviously see this big thing right here in front of you. You're going to want to stick to it and then go up this little jumpy thing. Once you do that, continue heading northwest and go to the other church.
There is a site of Grace in the Church of Pilgrimage, so feel free to grab that. And of course, grab the Sacred Tear.
Get back on Torrent, and then we're going to start heading southwest. You're going to get to the Weeping Evergoal, and then you're in the Fort Church of Marika. Go ahead and pick up the Sacred Tear and sit down at this side of Grace and use all the Sacred Tears that you just got.
After you equip the Sacred Tears, go back to the Aguil Lake south side of Grace.
Once we do that, we're going to start heading northeast and then north-ish once we get to the road here. Just ignore everything here. They're not going to hurt you. You can just continue to walk. And then to your right side, or the east side, there is going to be just this little outcropping of the Waypoint Ruins. Go ahead and follow this path here, and then go down this. We are going to be facing a boss, so whatever you need to get ready to do so.
Here you're going to be fighting the hardest boss in the... No, I'm just kidding. Fight the Mad Pumpkinhead. He's not that difficult. As you can see here, the rock sling basically cuts through his health like butter. This should be an easy fight for you.
Ooh. Woo! You dead now. Go ahead and open up this door, and you're going to meet Celia. Not sell you stuff. And just tell her you still want to learn, man. Even though she's kind of a poopy person. Once you're done with that, go to the Gatefront site of Grace. Woo, this looks familiar. Get on Torrent and keep going west. We're going to head off to this side here just because I don't like dealing with the big guy. Go ahead and pick up the golden seed and then stick to the right side here. The reason why we do this is so we don't summon in the wolves. They actually come out of the sky if you don't. Instead, take
It's raining wolves!
Yes, it is. Go ahead and grab the side of Grace, come up here, grab the stone sword key, and then talk to the girly. Wait until she gives you the spirit jellyfish ashes.
You can use these if you'd like, of course. There actually is a really cool questline you can do with these later in the game. We're not going to be covering that in this build video, but I would definitely hold on to those.
From there, head northwest and ignore everything in your way.
You can talk to the spokesperson for Pepperidge Farm. You can also choose to ignore her.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Continue through this cavern. There are going to be some doggos. Not the turtle type of doggos, but the aggressive kind of doggos. Welcome to Liurnia of the Lakes. Grab this side of grace right here.
And then what we're going to do is visit this church, and you guessed it, grab another tier. You can also talk to this dude. He does sell spells, but you already know the spells he sells. While we're here, what I want to do is go over into this graveyard and pick up this thing off of the center. It is going to be the Academy Scroll. It's how you learn spells. Well, some spells. And then exit it and head down the path here, heading west, which will then curve around and start heading north.
Grab the side of grace and talk to this merchant. We're going to be buying the lantern. Equip your lantern, and then travel back to the Aguil Lake north side of grace.
Make sure to head to the left of the bridge here, but not going over it. And then you're going to want to pass these eagles here. And if you see this little slanted end here, if you just kind of fall off, you will take some damage, but it won't kill you.
Eventually, there actually is going to be an NPC invader that assists you in this fight. Or you're gonna f***ing die, Kirk! You're using a level 1 rapier!
Yura! Come on, dude!
One thing that does make this fight a little bit tougher... One thing that does make this fight a little bit tougher is in order for the NPC invader to show up to help you, you do need to land at least one hit on this bloody finger. At this point, Yuri can tank most of the damage and do most of the up-close fighting. Really, your goal should be standing back and shooting with your spells. Or, if you're a madman who lives for the sense of danger, you can run up and poke him with your rapier like Kirk did.
Woohoo! Killed! Once he's dead, go ahead and go back to this little cave inside the cliff here. Equip and use your lantern so that you can see when walking.
Grab the side of grace inside this cave. As you go deeper into this cave, you're going to come up to a split. You're going to want to go right.
But before that, make sure that you don't set off these tripwires, or you will have enemies coming after you. And a lot more than these two.
Make sure to not go straight, but instead go into the hidden path on the right-hand side to make it over to the boss fight.
And again, we're going to be facing kind of a boss.
When you come in this room, open this chest and search it. The items might not seem like much, but, surprise, it was a trap. Because the man, the myth, the legend, if you played a FromSoft game before, you know him, you hate him, it's Patches. Go ahead and fight him really in any way you'd like. Once you break his poise, he's really not a tough enemy to fight. Halfway through the battle here, he's going to ask you to yield so he can surrender, be a merchant for you, you can complete his quest line. If you're like me and think he's a jerk who deserves to die, go ahead and kill him. But if you'd like to keep him alive, as Kirk does here, you can, and he'll actually become a merchant for you. To activate him as a merchant and later as someone that you can do quest lines for, re-travel to Murkwater Cave. Run back down into his area, and now he is officially a merchant you can buy items for.
What you're going to want to buy from him is the Gold Pickle Foul Foot stuff, and then the Missionary Cookbook 2. This little guy right here. Don't open it, it sends you to a different place. You are most likely going to die if you do.
And even if you don't, you cannot fast travel anywhere else until you sit at a site of grace.
Yep.
And using the Gold Pickle Foulfoot, you'll have to do this farm about 3 times. Once you have farmed Grail a few times and you have a good chunk of runes, you're going to want your stats to look about where we have ours here.
Once you do that, we are going to go have some fun, and we are going to go into the Stranded Graveyard.
This is the first site of grace you would have grabbed in the game. Those stone sword keys are going to come in handy now as you're going to use it on this gargoyle. And don't worry about using a ladder here. It's actually going to be more beneficial if you just jump down as we do here. There is going to be some poison buildup if you just run to the end and take a right. By the time you step on the platform, you should be good. It should not hit the full length of the meter.
Just keep following it down. You do want to use these little alcoves here so that you're out of the way of that thing. One touch, it does kill you. Drop down here, and then just continue running this way.
At this point, you should be fairly clear of the chariot. If you hear it rumbling, you just want to stick close to the side so you can jump in and alcove as quick as possible. Keep turning around this corner and run down this hill.
You may have to do this a few times. It is kind of hard to tell when he is going to choose to follow you or not.
Yeah, once you do this a few times, the timing becomes a lot easier. And now we're going to face a boss. The ulcerated tree spirit, to be specific. This boss is quick, he's big, he's ugly, and he is fairly mean. As you can see here, he melts through health pretty quick. This might take a few tries to beat. However, there is a stake of Marika just outside the boss door, so you don't have to run back through that gauntlet of death every time you want him down there. He's a big bastard of a boss, and guess what? When you get him to half health, he also explodes and shoots death fire out of the ground. It's okay.
God,
Was okay.
damn. But I couldn't get up to get that.
This is death.
That was pure luck, dude.
20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, and 100% reason to remember the name. Oh my god!
You fire spewing motherfucker. Come on! That took me from full health. Yeah, we're gonna abandon this for a bit.
So next you're going to want to go to the Kalem Ruins and head northwest. Grab this site of grace.
And then get back on Torrent. And we're going to head up here.
You're going to walk to the edge of this rock and drop down. And then do the same over here. This should bring you right to the entrance of this cave. You'll notice this is a little bit different. There isn't a site of grace immediately. Just run past these two guards and jump down here. And follow this path that we take.
Don't fall immediately down, you will die. Go ahead and run in here, grab the Somber Smithing Stone 4. Definitely useful.
There's a lot of mean stuff in this tunnel. Just do your best to dodge around them.
If you die, you can just take this route and jump down here.
Before entering that door on your right, enter the door straight ahead. You'll see the beautiful glow of the Site of Grace. And then finally, enter the boss room. The magma worm in here, he's not too horrible. He is a little bit tough at times if he spams his BS fire attacks. But overall, just strafe around him, keep your distance, and keep hitting him with your spells.
Really?
How is he not dead?
And there he goes.
And of course, you get one of the most important weapons of this build, the Moonveil katana.
Now make sure to exit the Gale Tunnel. If you just keep following outside of the path of the Site of Grace, you'll just get there. And now we're gonna meet a really cool big dude named Digi. Go to the Learning of the Lakeshore Site of Grace. So once you're at the Learning of the Lakeshore Site of Grace, you're gonna wanna head east, hop up on top of this little jump paddy thingy, and then get the Site of Grace right here, the Lernia Highway South Site of Grace. Then once you do that, head north. And in these little ruins here, you'll find a little teleporty thingy, or the purple or blue sphincter.
You're a sphincter, Harry.
faint there.
I'm a war. Run up this road here and grab this side of Grace.
Because we'll be coming back between these two trees. Go ahead and jump down here. Make sure you land on the rock. And then continue to head west-ish. Head to this little rock outcropping thing. There will be a big dragon eventually when you get close enough to it. He's seeping right now. We're just going to grab the items next to him and continue running west once we do. The reason why we do this is to get the Academy Glintstone Key.
Grab this side of Grace.
And then continue heading down this path. Continue following the path. You'll come up here and get the Northern Lernia Lake Shore side of Grace and then the map right here next to it. And continue following the path, and then we'll get to these little ruins. And we're going to have to kind of make a skilled jump. Head off to the left side of it, and then jump. And double jump to get back onto the other side. Make sure here to grab the side of Grace, and then talk to the old codger. You'll have to talk to him twice. And then you can purchase the somber smithing stones you need, 1 through 4. We did grab 4. You should have maybe grabbing 1, but if you didn't, not a big deal.
If you run out of runes, you can use golden runes you picked up along your journey.
And then talk to him about upgrading your sword, strength and armaments. And if you run out of runes, you can come over here and kill a few beastmen. And these guys are relatively easy to kill now that you have a sword. That's useful. Once you kill enough of them, you can go back to Iggy and just finish upgrading your sword. Once you're done with that, go ahead and go back to the South Ray Lucaria gate. We're going to go through the gate and die. Not immediately, though. Let's grab this side of Grace, and then we are going to head outside of the northern exit real quick. We're just going to grab another golden seed. Once you grab the seed, go ahead and head back. Let's take this elevator shaft, follow these stairs here, dodge these guys' attacks as much as possible.
Turn the corner and grab this side of Grace. You can fight these guys off if you so choose to. The good news is if you die, as long as you grab the side of Grace, you're good anyway.
After that, I would suggest going to either the Table of Lost Grace or speaking to one of the many merchants and getting some stuff that you might want in the future. Because you are going to die, you're going to lose all your runes, and that's the plan. Once you've done that, go ahead and go back to the Church of the Cuckoo. Alright, just continue going down this hill over here and go across the bridge. I like to cut the bridge off a little early and head off right around here. That way we can essentially not get shot by arrows. At least that's the plan. Now you can either do this and hopefully get grabbed and hit off and take minimal damage, or you might have to run around and go up that area. It's just a little bit of a roundabout way to do it, and it essentially brings you over and around. But I got lucky. Now our whole objective is to be eaten by this thing.
Yeah, we wanted to KYS ourselves.
Because, oh my goodness, we're in a whole different region we've never been in. Woo!
Volcano Manor. If you've checked out our faith build, you know this area quite well.
Go ahead and equip everything you just got off of the Royal Knight body that was down there. That way you can take some extra damage.
Thankfully, this armor isn't too heavy, so it doesn't have a super high endurance requirement.
Head over here to the right and pick yourself up a Somber Smithing Stone 5 off of the Hanging Body. And now we're going to dodge around this guy.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
Wrong lever! it brings up this drawbridge, which means you can get over to this side. And now we gotta go rooftop scaling. And while trying to dodge scaly boys.
Jump down here, and then what you're going to do is run through this building, take a right down the stairs, jump over this guy, jump over the railing, continue running down the stairs, and take a left. You're going to run in this room and immediately take a right, and hey, look, a side of grace. You're not done in here, but if you do need to travel elsewhere, you can now do that. Do as the Ghost of Christmas Past was showing us, and open the door. Take a right. You can use the ladder. It's kind of pointless. Just jump down. Run up this path here and immediately turn around. And there is the Somber Smithing Stone 6.
That is the furthest you can upgrade a weapon at this point. And, well, you're upgrading the best weapon for this build, in my opinion.
At this point, just head back to the side of grace.
Sit back down. And now we can fast travel out of here. Let's see if I can beat that thing now.
Okay. Stack him. Yes!
I only got hit once.
And from beating that boss, you will get both a Golden Seed and the Banished Knight Oleg Summon Ashes.
As you can see, I've died here a few times. Woohoo!
You know, 11, but who's counting? Next, you are going to go back to the Third Church of America.
So what we're going to do here is we're going to head off near this Erd tree and then get in this circular building here. Once you're down here at the bottom, go ahead and pick up the Side of Grace and continue moving forward. But what's really cool is you can use Torrent down here.
Right over here, you'll find a Ghost Glovewort 1 by this tree.
You know, if your game cooperates, you grab the item here.
Yeah, but if it doesn't, that's okay. We can do this.
And just at the top of the steps, you'll find yourself an elevator that you can ride on up to the surface.
When you get to the top, just continue east.
Pick up this Side of Grace off to your left, and then let's go hunting. Not for animals, but for plants. But also, hey, there's the map. And then there's number 2 for the Ghost Glovewort. Continue heading east off by the cliff here.
And you might be surprised to hear us say this, but go ahead and just ignore the bad guys that are chasing after you. Use the little spring jumpy air thing. And back here is the Ghost Glovewort 3.
Fast travel to the Rot View balcony. I know, we've come back here a few times now. Get on Torrent and head west over the wall. Then we're going to want to keep to this right-hand side and just follow it down.
There will be a putrid avatar here. He likes to use explosive diarrhea rod attacks. Just ignore him, run around the right of the tree, and go through the doors here.
If you do want to fight him, that's your prerogative, but I will tell you, you are not at the right level to do so.
Unless you're a god at this game. Let me solo her if you're watching this video. Go for it.
Yeah. I mean, but if you're a god at this game, you're probably not watching this, so... Hey.
Well, maybe they are to make fun of us.
Most likely. In which case, make fun of us. I would love to have a comment from one of the more famous Elden Ring tubers. You know? That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, and plus, you know, we are a smaller channel at the moment. We would love your comments if they're positive or negative.
Ain't that the truth? Go ahead and grab everything in here. Don't worry about the rod. It's not going to affect you too badly. And then run over the elevator thingy and then prepare to fight what's at the bottom. Keep going. Then you'll find the Ghost Glovewort 4 and head up the little stairwell. And then up the ladder. Pick up the imp head and then just jump down. And we are going to go back to the elevator. We're going to call it down though.
And then if you're low on runes like we are, you're going to want to get more, so go ahead and farm Grail one more time.
Once you have enough runes, go ahead and go back to the round table hold and talk to this girl. Doesn't she seem familiar?
Exhaust all her dialogue, and then run around and talk to this weird blacksmith guy. Talk to him about Rodrika, and exhaust all of that dialogue. Now we're going to play a fun game of telephone. Run back between the two of them and keep exhausting all of their dialogue about one another. Once you've exhausted all their dialogue, rest at the Table of Lost Grace. Back out, and you'll notice she's not there anymore. Run into the room with the blacksmith, turn left, and you'll see her sitting here. Congratulations, you've unlocked Spirit Tuning, which allows you to upgrade your Spirit Ashes.
And then, upgrade your Banished Knight Oleg. Finish leveling up your sword and you're good to go. Now if you take a look at your weapon damage up here at the top right, your sword is going to be 431 damage. Isn't that nice? Now, I'm going to show you how to play this build.
For reference, we're going to be fighting Margit, the first main story boss of the game. At too low of a level, or even if you're just too under-specced, under-equipped, he can be really tough. Let's just say that's not the case when we fight him.
Alright, for this you can call a helper, and guess who it is? Your buddy, your friend, Sorcerer Rajir.
Who you haven't met yet.
So once he's summoned in, go ahead and go in.
Watch the cool sick cutscene that we're going to skip over, summon Oleg, and have fun.
So the object of this build is to let Oleg kind of start tanking damage and, just generally grabbing the enemy's attention. Runaway dodge is what's needed. And then shoot from afar. If he does get close, that's where the sword comes in, because eventually he will want to come in.
As you can see, we only had to use one healing flask. This boss really isn't difficult when you're spec'd correctly with the right equipment.
And you get another talisman pouch.
There are a couple different routes you could go with your second talisman you'll equip. You could do Blide's quest. His actually is really nice because whatever your weapon art is, such as the Moonveil katanas here that we use, it actually lowers FP consumption per each action.
Or you can go into Rhea Academy and get the talisman that allows you to make your spells hit harder. You guys have a great rest of your day. We will see you next time. And guess what? This goodbye is not forever.
This just in, you're just in time to continue your journey in the lands between. Let us know in the comments what you think, and remember to hit that subscribe button below. Otherwise, we're going to throw you against Margit without any weapons.
Oh no.
And hey there, just as the last thing, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you guys next time. See ya!
And remember, your journey in the lands between is what you make it.